Time has started. All right. I want to talk about an FPGA ASIC simulator I ended up creating on behalf of Tiny Tapeout and eFabless. So as some of you may be aware, Tiny Tapeout allows us to chop up a multi-project wafer even more and reduce the cost and let people, create their own ASIC. eFabless came and said, okay, well, that's great, but the turnaround time is kind of slow. And so what we would like is to have some sort of way of doing education and hands-on training while we wait for the ASICs. So this was in the days of Tiny Tapeout 3. So these were the boards. And in essence, the goal was to create some sort of platform that we could pop in here instead of the carrier, just give you the ASIC replacement as an FPGA board and put that in. So this is what I ended up creating. It's not really a complicated circuit. It's pretty simple. I'm basically just taking a Lattice ICE40 up 5K and popping it in there and mapping it out to the IO for the Tiny Tapeout 3 ASICs. Now, in those days, there were only 8 in, 8 out, and so it was kind of easy. And I didn't do a super job in terms of UI. You had to unplug it to reset, but otherwise, it did work out. So this is what it ended up looking like. The blackboard is a replacement, and you could just keep that on your board, do all your development, submit for tape-out, and when you finally got the carrier, put it there in its place. I ended up documenting this. I made 2 videos, one about the board itself and the other about the bootloader, because part of this process is being able to update easily, the advantage of the FPGA. So that actually worked out fine, and Tiny Tapeout 4 came along and we changed the form factor for various reasons. So you can't put the carrier on the Tiny Tapeout 3 board, and because the pinout changed a great deal. Now we have 3 PMODs down there, and that's because we have 2 8 in, 8 out, and 8 bidirectionals. So the pinout having changed, the requirements for that changed, and so the ASIC simulator needed to change as well, both the form factor and the pinout. In this case, I actually took the opportunity to fix it up a little bit and give it an RGB LED for some feedback, give it a reset and a boot button directly on the FPGA board. The thing is, you can power it from the USB connector that's up there top right, or through the, if it's on the demo board, through the demo board. The way this all works, the reason it's so easy is I had actually started with the going for the Tiny FPGA bootloader, and that did not work out at all. But Sylvain Munot did the Nitro, the NO2 bootloader, and that thing is superb. So what it does is it basically takes care of everything. It boots up, and it has a DFU system that if it detects that this pin is low, it'll boot into DFU mode, and then all you have to do is use DFU to upload your stuff. So there's slots, basically one for the bootloader and a couple for bitstreams. The changes I needed to make were really minor. All I did was PCF files, basically, and a little bit of change to the config to say, okay, I have an RGB LED, or the flash lock is this, and stuff like that. But basically, in the 3 commits I did for the 2 versions, I changed 9 files. So that's pretty much all there is to it. The really neat thing is this all works with actions. So this is the Simon game that Yuri did, and it's made for an ASIC, but it just produces this FPGA bitstream through the Yosis Magic and the actions, and then what you get is that file with a .bin in it, and all you need to do is upload it through DFU. So there you go. I plugged it in. I put it into bootloader mode. It comes up as this, and then I can send this to the Alt0, which is where we need to send our stuff, and that's it. And I think that might be the end of the presentation. But I do have a live demo. This, can you see me now? Yes, kind of, is the Tiny Tapeout 3.5 demo board and the FPGA ASIC board and Yuri's Simon. And it just works. I'm not sure. Oh, I got it. Pretty magical. I mean, I didn't do anything except download that FPGA bitstream. Oh, and so that's pretty much it. Everything is obviously open source and available through the repos. I can provide links if anybody's interested. The videos are kind of informative, although a little bit out of date because they were for version for the TT3 version. But really, these are nice and simple and fun boards to use. And that is my presentation.